Well, welcome back to your morning on Spectrum News 1. CBS's surprise decision to axe The Late Show with Stephen Colbert next May left many in the industry questioning the timing. Now, Colbert has been critical of the Trump administration and of CBS after its parent company, Paramount Global, paid $16 million to settle Trump's 60-minute lawsuit. The network says the cancellation is, quote, purely financial. Others, though, are not so sure, especially since Paramount's planned merger with Skydance Media needs White House approval. So joining us now to discuss this and more is Michael Schneider, Variety's executive editor of TV. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us today.
Absolutely. Good morning.
Good morning. So this really caused shockwaves. I think it's hard to overestimate or overstate how shocking this decision was for folks who follow the late night television world. A handful of days later, after this news, has there been any further comment from CBS on why it decided to cancel The Late Show other than purely financial, as they said?
That's the excuse that they're sticking with right now. Now, of course, there's been quite the outrage from other people in the community, both inside the late night community, but also former CBS executives, and then, of course, a lot of other folks on the political spectrum who clearly see this as capitulation to the Trump administration. And the thing is, both can be true. The fact of the matter is late night is in trouble. It is a endangered time slot, but Skydance and CBS are also looking to complete their merger. And as you mentioned, they need the administration's approval, and they have already been kowtowing to the administration with other issues, including settling the 60 Minutes lawsuit. So to me, it looks like there's a little bit of both playing into this.
Okay, yes. Granted, it is a time slot that has been in trouble, but Colbert generally is the better rated of these, right? Like, he still gets a lot of viewers. He was just nominated for yet another Emmy. I mean, that show does pretty well and has a pretty solid fan base.
Yeah, and that's the issue here. It's the #1 show in late night, most watched show in late night. And yes, late night is in trouble, but that doesn't mean you can't find other ways to, cut costs, maybe cut staff, cut his salary, reduce the amount of episodes that are produced. There are ways to save money and not just completely kill the show. The timing of this issue is also in question. Now, yes, they've announced that the Late Show will continue until May, but why announce that now? The only reason why you would announce it now is that someone in the White House might appreciate the news that you're eventually canceling the show. So that's why there's still a lot of suspicion there, and I don't know if that's going to go away.
Right. So you mentioned about the whether or not this is related to that merger that is on the table in the White House. They need that approval from the Trump administration. How much do you think that really is playing in here, especially then, as you say, with the timing, because they made that decision, or they made that announcement now, maybe to grease those wheels?
Well, we've already seen CBS capitulate to the administration because they really want to get this deal done. The lawsuit that Trump had filed against 60 Minutes, which everyone agreed was completely frivolous and really had no bearing on what actually happened with the editing of the Kamala Harris interview that wasn't. CBS decided to settle on that lawsuit. And Trump has even said that Skydance, the company that wants to buy Paramount, also set up an additional fund for him. An additional $16 million on top of the $16 million that CBS agreed to. All of this is seen as bowing to the pressure in order to get this deal done. So clearly that's happened before, and this is a deal that both Skydance and Paramount need to happen. This is an attempt to save Paramount, so it's clear that this company will do almost anything to finally get this deal done. And this is an administration that has weaponized the FCC and is demanding a pound of flesh in situations like this.
Do you think that by giving themselves that long exit ramp, I guess, there's that opportunity that maybe once the merger's done, maybe when things settle down a little bit, they can reverse this decision? Is there a possibility that Colbert stays on the air?
I mean, that's the optimistic viewpoint. I feel like they've made their bed now. I think, The one thing is this is an unleashed Stephen Colbert, and for nine
Yeah.
months, maybe we'll see him just go off the rails, and that's really my hope. The other hope is that there are other homes for Stephen eventually. Maybe he decides to do his own thing on YouTube. Maybe Netflix steps up. This isn't the last of Stephen Colbert, so we will still have him in our lives. It's just unfortunate that CBS did this the way they did this.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, there are other ways they could cut costs. I mean, we've seen late shows. I believe it was Seth Meyers' show had gotten rid of the band as one way to cut costs. Other shows put in freezes in terms of salary increases. They could reduce the number to just doing Monday through Thursday and not have a Friday show. Like there are different ways that they could work around this. Does this spell the end for late night? Like, is this the first nail in a coffin, and are we going to start to see dominoes fall?
Yeah, we've already started to see that a little bit. When James Corden left the Late Late Show on CBS, they didn't continue with that show. They created a new, much cheaper show called After Midnight. But then when that host decided to leave, they just decided to get out of that 12:35 business altogether. I think the general sense is once Jimmy Kimmel decides to leave, ABC probably won't replace him with another host. Once Seth Meyers decides to leave, sort of the same thing. The only show that may still stick around because of its legacy is The Tonight Show, a show that's been on for 70 years. It's hard to really get rid of that. But late night has changed and talk has migrated. And when you think about it, most of the podcasts that are on YouTube are almost like talk shows. So the genre of interviewing guests, of doing comedy bits, of doing monologues, that could continue just in a very different form and not in that 11:35 time slot.
Sure. And I mean, just the way people consume media has changed so much. And I think a lot of people probably just get those clips anyway
Yeah.
online after the fact and are not necessarily watching it in its time slot. You mentioned that this could be the chance now, since he knows he's got an exit date where he doesn't hold back. We've seen Jon Stewart on Comedy Central also not holding back in his criticism against Paramount during these White House negotiations. Is this where we're going to see the gloves come off, really, in terms of political jokes?
I mean, I hope so. I don't think that Steven's really been censoring himself already, so I don't know how much he would change. But the fact is, yeah, he's now been given permission to be unleashed, and so I think it should be fun to watch him over the next 9 months.
Yeah.
It's not sort of sad and depressing to know what's going on, and all eyes are going to be on his next show when he comes back. And after this uproar, how does he respond to it? How does he address this?
Sure. Well, he has the freedom now, I guess, to push the envelope as far as he wants. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Michael Schneider, executive editor of TV for Variety. Thank you so much for shedding a little bit of light on this for us.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
You too.